Evening, everyone. Welcome to Sports Corner with the Con Man. I am your host, the Con Man, and I have with me a very special guest. Matter of fact, my co-host Mike Semiao was unable to make it today because he has some personal issues, but the Con Man is here. So we're here with my special guest, Denzel Brito, and surprisingly, his dad, Luke. What's going on, y'all?
What's going
What's up,
on?
bro?
Hey, Denzel. Hey, folks who don't know,
What's going on,
Denzel's
Mike?
in Australia. It's 7 a.m. in Australia time, so you know he's tired. But he took the time to come and do the show, so I'm very honored and privileged to have him on the show. And of course, having your dad here is special to me as well. As you guys may or may not know, I've had NBA ball players on my show, collegiate ball players, musicians, the whole nine. I like to diversify and do what I do, but it always brings me more pleasure to bring local people on and give them their roses. And Denzel, you and your dad, we tried to get on a couple months ago, but things happen. But now I get you both back on, and I'm very privileged and happy. Now, Denzel, I'm gonna try to give you a little history. Denzel was born in Wareham, Massachusetts. He attended Lawrence Academy at Groton, Massachusetts. Some of you folks may be familiar with his backcourt mate. I think people might know who he might be. Shabazz Napier. And, you had a great career at Lawrence Academy. And then you proceeded to go to Loyola, Maryland, where you had great success. And what I want to do, since your dad's here, I want to go back because I'm giving you your roses, so I want to go back. I want to go way back. I want to go back when you first started to like basketball, and how did you feel that you were interested in basketball, and who got you involved in basketball?
I used to be with my dad a lot, going to like the Sunday runs over at Taunton YMCA or Taunton High School. And so, I used to always come through with him with my little portable hoop. I used to set up on the side. And that's kind of where I started. We used to, always watch the Bulls play and whatnot. Just in general with just sports, we always would bond and spend time together watching sports. He used to he probably can't work with the damn camera.
He probably can't. He's probably worse than me.
But yeah, like he used to play in a bunch of leagues. My dad did. Like he used to play like some softball leagues and whatnot. So I used to always be with him, around it. And he always made sure that it was important for us to spend time, and we did that, through sports a lot.
Now, let's talk about something that's kind of near and dear to you and your dad as well as me. Talk about your experiences with the JBA.
Man, JBA was so vital to all of our upbringing as kids. Every Saturday, you headed to the middle school, the elementary school. You got your matchup. Looking forward to it all week because you play against your friends. And it's like back then it was the competition was thick. It's like you got a lot of kids who could play, naturally talented, and so each week it was like you got to bring your game because if not, you're gonna get found out. So it was very special for us though as kids. Like it was so important to us just to win a championship or something like that. But all in all, it was more so like the time you spent with your friends at that age that made it special.
And you know something? Speaking about the JBA, I kind of got my start refereeing in the JBA, and I ref quite a bit of your games. And your dad was in the stands. I ain't got to say too much more. You already know where I'm going to go with this. So
Yeah.
you already know. So I'm refereeing your games, and your dad be staring me down. You know what I mean? He be staring me down, give me that eye like he want to go outside. So I'm like, bro, it's like that. And the thing about it though, Denzel, I didn't give you nothing because you have so much more talent than everybody else. I wanted you to earn it. And
Right,
your
right.
dad wasn't too happy with me, but that's what I did. But no, going full circle before we go any further is your dad got into the refereeing business, and his very first varsity game was guess with who? The con man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. And now he's a great referee. Of course, he's one of the best in the state of Massachusetts. So I'm proud to have him. I love him. He's my boy. But of course, getting back to Denzel now because this is your time. You know what I mean? So okay. After you went to the JBA, what happened next?
But JB ends up like in 8th grade. So we used to actually do well it's normal now, but we used to do like these travel tournaments, like we would
Okay.
put together like a little all-star team.
Mm-hmm.
And literally it was like almost all the neighborhood kids, Jordan Bazendis, Juice Tavares, and a couple other guys I grew up with. We would go play tournaments, and I think we ended up playing like this team from Franklin, who was a pretty solid team. I think they beat us a couple times, but like their coach also coached the AAU team, and he's like, "Hey, you should come try out for our team," which was at the time I think the Bay State, Boston Gators, Boston Gators. So I didn't start playing AAU until the 8th grade, and then did that for a year. It was a good experience being able to travel out of state and play against some different kids and just kind of see where I was at. But also just kind of just meet new people and have fun. And then Kobe Santos actually ended up getting me in touch with Leo Papil, and then I started playing with BABC,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, that year I did my freshman year at Wareham High School, um, where I played. And then, yeah, Leo was just like, hey, I got a good school for you to go to in Lawrence Academy. And yeah, that's what happened, pretty much after JVA.
And you know something? Me being from New Bedford, as we always heard about you. We always knew your name was all over the New Bedford. We all knew about you. When did you think you were that good? Hey, I'm calm, man. I keep it real.
Nah, it's all good. I mean, 6th and 7th grade, like as a kid, you always think you're better than what you are, and a
Mhm.
lot of people they don't like that. They were like, oh, you should humble yourself a little bit, and I think kids should be able to believe how good they are. Obviously if you put the work in, and 6th, 7th grade, and I got cut from middle school teams out in Wareham, so at that time it seemed like the end of the world, but
Hmm.
my dad, he never let me quit anything 'cause I wanted to quit. In the moment, I wanted to quit. I was so upset. But he was like, "Oh, you got two choices. You can quit or get better." And he was like, "I ain't let you quit nothing." So I just got better. And again, it kind of goes back to when as a kid I would go again to the Taunton YMCA Saturdays from about 12 to 6, and I would just play with all the older kids who played varsity, who were out of high school, and I would get my butt whooped sometimes. Sometimes I do the whooping, and that's when I started to get a little better. But I think that I started to realize, like, okay, like you got something here. Probably like the age 13, 12, 13. I kind of always knew um, what I had and what I wanted to do.
Now, let me get your father into the picture here. Now, Dad, when did you think your son had any talent?
Honestly, I'm a little biased, obviously, but
I know
at a
that.
at a very young age, he was always different. I'm talking 3, 4 years old. Where whether I'm pitching to him with with a ball or whatever, he's making contact. Hitting it over the house. It was just different. You know, and sport basketball, he just was always game come on. He would not. You know, his focus was always on ball. So I guess at a young age, he always had that in him. And I remember my mom would always say, "Hey, this kid's gonna be something special." She had no idea about sports, but she's like, "This kid's gonna be special." But his biggest attribute, I feel, is just he's always been that kid that wants to work. I remember, whether it was in baseball, me pitching batting practice until my arm fell off, or we going to the Y till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning because he wants to shoot. He was always the driven one. Because I used to tell him all the time, I used to look for excuses when I played not to practice.
Right, me too.
But he was different that way. He loved that. He loved the grind. He was always, no, I want to get better. I want to get better. If there was a kid that they would say that this kid is this, that, he wouldn't say nothing, but he'd go and put that work in. But that was just always him. He always put that work in. Talent came, but like he said, if you got a dream, you got to go work for it. And that didn't come from me. I just told him, hey, these are mistakes I made. This is what the people who have done well do. He took that and ran with it. So that's all on him.
But no, it's on him, but it's on you as well. You being that father figure, you being there for him. Because a lot of kids, as we know, grew up without a father, or the father's not participating in their lives. Right, and right. I know how much you participate in his life. And that's a tribute to you. And I think I got to give my props to you because look who you brought up. He's doing pretty good. Now, before we go into what his college, high school, I don't want you to have any stories you have about him, maybe pre-high school years or something like you might want to relate to the viewers out there who may not know.
Your pre-high school years, I think back of the battles they had on Old Onset Road. Y'all gotta understand something. Old Onset Road was different. You had him, Jordan Resendiz, Jules Tavares, Aaron Struthers was right around the corner. Darren Gray, Darian Fernandez, Kobe Santos was right down the road.
Wow.
Walter Crumbly breaking his nose playing tackle football. But these kids battled, man. And I would sit there, and me and his grandfather Happy would sit there and watch them, whether they were playing football, basketball, baseball. They went at it. And those, to me, if you look at like Wareham and Onset basketball, that's where it started. That's where they got their bones, man, because they battled each other and they all helped each other get better and better. And like that competition that, like he said, he took his butt whoopings, but he gave out a lot of butt whoopings too. So,
I know he did. He did.
It worked. But that's, to me, is like I miss those days because they banged. No matter what sport they were fighting tooth and nail. Who got the last shot, the last touchdown, or whatever it was. I think that translates to a lot of the success moving forward, because when you're going up against dudes like that every day in the neighborhood, when you go against other cats, it's like easy, not easy. Like you're working every day, against.
You're not intimidated. You're not intimidated.
No, that level of competition. So it's like, I can handle that. This, I can do this. So that, to me, that's some of my fondest memories of just not even organized, which I think a lot of times we organize too much for the kids, and we don't let the kids just go out, and put that work in, let them organize their own games and have their battles, have the disagreements, and they work through it. So I think that's, to me, is one of my fondest memories of that time before like Lawrence Academy and all that.
Man, I'll tell you, you're talking about like we used to organize things like the person who used to actually set it up was Jordan Fonts.
Okay.
So
okay.
What we used to do, Jordan, he had the best yards for the basketball court, for the football, whatever. So the whole entire neighborhood, used to ride their bikes over there, and then we have drafts. Like we had the OFL, which is the Onset Football League. We had the OBL, Onset Basketball League. We had drafts. We had team practices. And we had our games, and it was like legit, and we took it so serious. We took it so serious. It was just something that I felt like we maybe were a little ahead of our time with, in regards to just our creativity, our imagination, just our hold on, competitive spirits. Just we're like 10, 11 years old, and we're doing all this stuff, and we're inviting kids from other neighborhoods are getting dropped off for the day to come to
Right.
onset so they can play. So it's something special.
And you know something? All the kids that your dad mentioned, they are great people. I think more importantly than being great athletes, they're great people. And to me, that signifies family structure, friendships, and I think that's most important. And I think it's a tribute to I love going with him. I enjoyed it. I was always treated well. You know, I busted their ass, but I mean, I was, I was, I, I was always, I was always treated well. But no, on a serious note. All right, so Denzel, okay, so now we're going to Lawrence Academy. What was that like? Because you went with my godchild, as you know, Michael Grant. So what was that like going there?
Well, actually, so I went there. I'm a year ahead of Marcus, so I'm the one who got Marcus to go to Lawrence.
I mean, it was Marcus. That's right. I got to get it right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, Mike went to Northfield.
I get dementia. So go ahead.
No, it was like probably like one of the best things that ever happened to me. Originally, I think I spoke about this on I was on last year. I was on Silk's podcast, him and Kellens, and they asked how I ended up at Lawrence. And I told them I was like, I wanted to go to Tabor. Because I kind of saw what Kobe did and how Kobe took his route to Division One, and he started playing the knapsack. And at the time, I didn't really know much about it until I was hanging out with him all the time. He picked me up. We'd go over to Tabor's campus. We'd get a workout in. I play with the guys. I'm like 7th, 8th grade this time. And so I'm like, oh, I see what this school is. I'm like, this is amazing. It feels like college. And so I knew I wanted to go to a prep school. I applied to Tabor. I got in, but they actually gave all the financial aid money to my Wareham teammate, Jason Watkins. Shout out to him. At the time, Jason was about a couple years older than me. He was a little more mature as far as like, physically and stuff. So he probably looked the part better than I did at the time. But yeah, so Leo got me over at Lawrence, and I took a visit, and I was like, oh, this is like amazing. Like, I think it's the right distance from home, like an hour and a half. So where I can live at school, but also if I want to come home, like I can always just get a ride home. So that's how I ended up there, and it was just a great experience overall.
How was it like playing with Shabazz?
At first it was difficult. So what people don't really understand is Baz didn't come in until my junior year.
Okay.
So my first 2 years we had my boy Daryl Cato Bishop, who ended up playing defensive end at North Carolina State, and then he played professionally in the Arena League for years. We had E.B. Davis, which is the younger brother of Ricky Davis. E.B. just like his brother, supreme athlete, supreme scorer. Just a flat out bucket. And then our point guard was Stevie Mejia, who was the Gatorade Player of the Year. He went to University of Rhode Island and also Hofstra University and played overseas after. So those first 2 years, we lost like 3 games, maybe won a championship and all that. So that was something great we did. But then in junior year, Baz came in. At this time, Marcus was there as well. So the junior year, I think Baz, like it was just our first time ever really playing with him or getting to know him, and so we had a lot of growing pains together. We still had a great year, but we had an early exit, which was very rare for us. And then the following year, Baz, I took another step in his game, and he like just got really good, like really, really super good. Had a big summer, and he came in with a different mindset. Like he was more focused, and then you saw it on the court. And then like we just kind of gelled from there. As far as our styles of play, we really complement each other. But he was, to this day, it's like family to me. And he's had a hell of a career thus far, and he's going to continue to ascend. So it was really fun playing with him. So Made the game
I'm
easy.
sure. As a matter of fact, I saw y'all when y'all came to New Bedford High School. I saw y'all, man. Y'all turned it out.
Oh, what's crazy is
That was crazy. That was off the hook. Now,
about a vote. Yeah, yeah.
that was great. I want to get your dad back in this one. Okay, now you had a great career at Lawrence Academy. Now you got to decide where you want to go to college. I want to know how much impact your dad had as to where you wanted to go, where you should go, or maybe he had no impact. I want to know.
Before he even answers that, he gonna tell you, he gonna be like, it ain't my choice. He gonna say it ain't my choice. It's your choice. That's what he would tell me. He'll tell you.
Yeah. Honestly, the one time he came to me because you might get to understand, he had offers coming in for football, like serious D1 offers, head coaches coming down with full scholarships, wanting him, and I'm not going to say where, but he was like, Dad. He came to me. He was like, Dad, I don't know. What about this? He goes, What do you do? What do I do? I said to him, I'm like, What's in your heart, bro? And he's like, I can't see myself not playing basketball next year. I'm like, well, there you go. So he had options. And you got my number one goal as a dad, get my son a college education. That was my goal for me. Now, being a young father, scared out of my mind, and he made it easy being a dad at a young age, because again, he was always that kid. I always tell him he's a lot like my father, a lot like my brother, because they're focused, very intelligent, quiet dudes, where I'm just the opposite. uh, and thank God he took after them, because if he was more like me, I think I would have had a heart attack at a young age. But he was a great kid, and like he just told you, it's always been about him. I'm there as dad. I'm not gonna push you. I'm not gonna force you. But whatever you decide, I got you. And I told him that from the day he was born. I got you for life, and whatever you need, I'm gonna be there. Like I said. But so as far as that goes, that was my advice to him. Go with what you feel. Go with your heart.
Okay, now Denzel, what made you decide to go Loyola of Chicago?
To be
Uh
to
oh.
be
Uh
honest
oh.
with you, like I had no idea what I was doing in regards to handling the recruiting process. Like, cause my dad never had to deal with it. My mom never did. My uncle did a little bit, but not to this extent. And it wasn't like it was super crazy. Looking back, it was like a typical recruiting process. Um, but it was just something that you just don't know how to handle. And so it's like you got these coaches talking to you, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like they're salesmen. They're trying to make their pitch of why you
Hmm.
should go to their school.
Right.
And so it's like how salesmen are trying to sell you a car. It's like they're gonna tell you all the good things,
Right.
but they don't. Not
Hmm.
all of them keep it real with you. So I guess like at that time, I wasn't able to see through certain things, and so yeah, so like my dad said, I had a lot of schools recruiting for football. Also, um, they were trying to lure me in, like saying, "Oh, you can play both here." Like I talked to the basketball coach, you can come in and play both. And so I said the only school that I actually considered for football was UConn. And at the time, Coach Edsel was there, who was a stand-up guy, very honest and transparent. Um, he I took a visit there. He had Todman be my
Yeah.
host,
Jordan Tallman, for
and
those
J
who don't
yeah
know.
J yeah I get there and JT's like, I didn't know you played football. I was like, yeah man, like so I had a great visit there, and I had a very good conversation with him, and he was just very honest with me and very blunt. He was like, listen, you come here and play BCS level football, or you can play mid-major basketball. It's your choice. And he's like, you can play both here if you want to. As I talked to Calhoun, but at the time, I'm like, I'm a hooper, So um, again, I had a great visit, and then signing day came. So football signing days earlier than basketball.
Hmm.
So they called me while I'm in class. So I take the call. I'm in the bathroom at school, just like I don't know what to do. So and yeah, I eventually was like, hey, thank you, but I'm gonna play basketball. And then so yeah, my recruitment came around for basketball, and I ended up choosing Loyola Chicago, but it was like by default. Originally I was going to commit to Hofstra. There's a coach there at the time who was recruiting me. I was like, all right, New York, whatever, play in the CAA, good league. Excuse me. And then that coach ended up getting let go like that day because something that happened that he did. I don't really want to talk about it, but he did something that he ended up getting let go. And so then that's when I was like, all right, I'll go Loyola. But I don't really ever live in regret. But looking back on it, I should have chose Harvard. I should have chose Harvard. Not because not because of any type of basketball thing or school thing. Mostly because Coach Amaker at Harvard was a stand-up guy.
Yes.
He was very, very
also a great player. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So Coach Amaker, man, he recruited me hard. But most importantly, he got the chance to know me, know my family. Even like I see him 2-3 years ago at a tournament, and again, most of his coaches probably forget you as soon as you leave or as soon as you don't pick their school. But he saw me and we spoke, and he literally asked about my family by name. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that it hit me like as I maybe 28 years old, 29 years old. I'm like, damn, this dude was actually, he got a chance to know who I was. So looking back on my younger self, I wish I had saw that earlier. I'm like, that's a person I would have loved to play for, who actually cared about who I was, who my family was. You know what I mean?
Now let me ask you a question, Denzel, and this goes according to your dad as well. Did you ever think about maybe going to a school closer to where your dad can come see you play frequently? Did that have any impact on anything at all? Oh, y'all laughing. I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
asking.
that had zero. Honestly, I was trying to pick the school furthest away from home, and not because of like my family and nothing like that. I wanted something different. I wanted to see what else is out there, and because I know that he's going to be at every game,
Oh, you
no
know
matter
that. You
what.
already know that.
So I knew it. I knew it didn't matter where I went. I knew that he would be there. You know what I mean? If no one else made it, I know he would make it. You know what I'm saying, to the game. And to this day, it's the same thing. It's like I've been playing overseas, 7 years, and him and my brother, my younger brother, the only ones who came to visit me. You know what I'm saying? Which meant so much. You know what I mean? Flew 10,000 miles to come see me, 20 hours. You know what I'm saying? So that's never changed.
We're going to get into that in a little while. We're going to get into that in a little while. Oh, we're going to get into that. But what I wanted to bring up, Denzel, is that, okay, you are at Loyola Chicago. You chose to go there. You probably had offers from locally, but you chose to go there.
Mm.
And how do you feel your career went there?
It was all right. I mean, I'm a winner, and I I didn't win no championships in college. So to me, I'm just like, like we didn't punch no tickets. We didn't put no banners up. So and it is what it is. It lets you know how competitive it is in that world. But we didn't win nothing. So it's like I don't rate it too high. I felt we should have done a lot better. But all my experience there was great. I became so much more as a player. Um, and I got to learn a lot more about how this thing works as far as like this college basketball stuff. Um, Most don't know I had 4 college coaches, which is you might have the better chance hitting the lottery than having 4 head coaches in college.
Right.
But my first year was Coach Weitzel, who was a very nice guy, solid dude. He actually got let go after my freshman year. We went like 500. Coach Mosher took over, who took them to the Final Four and all that good stuff, and probably one of the best X's and O's guys that I've ever been around. And his staff was amazing. I got to learn from Jason Gardner, who was a McDonald's All-American point guard, went to Arizona. Played with Gilbert Arenas and all them over there. He was a really, really great guard. So I got to learn a lot from his staff and just how to be, a more complete guard. So that time there was I learned a lot. I learned a lot. And I guess you could say I got to be a part of the building process for a bit and turning the program around.
Okay, now let me ask you this one. Before we go any further, you know we got Wayham watching the show right now. Y'all got any shout outs you want to give out? You know they're watching.
Man, the entire community like just is amazing. It's special. It's very unique. Got to play all over the world, and there's nothing like some hometown fans who be at the games like getting rowdy. You know how those fans can get.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, we do. We do.
but yeah, obviously, shout out to my onset boys, but definitely shout out to my boy Jawan Gamble, who runs CYE, which is the Community Youth Empowerment Program. Pretty much, he helps the youth learn how to apply for jobs, colleges, how to conduct themselves in interviews, the whole nine. He's been doing it for the past few years. I believe it's a nonprofit, but they're doing a lot of great things in our community, having workshops for the kids to kind of become financial literate and all this other stuff. And so I want to shout out to them. And yeah, again, Tire Onset for sure. All the neighborhoods.
How about you, Dad? You got any shout outs you want to give out?
Just that my family's at the Gleason Family YMCA and the Wareham Fire Department, man. And everybody else around here. It's a great community. I've been involved with this community since Denzel was born, and it's my new home, and I just love it out here.
That's awesome. Okay, now Denzel, we went. You as a youngster, JBA, prep school, college. Now after your senior year, what was it like? Did you think about going the NBA route, or what was your, I guess, synopsis of what your talent was at that level, at that time?
Right. So I guess like I never really thought about this, but talent wise, I knew where I always was. It was never that. It's more so, all right, what's your best route? How can you make something happen? And at the time, all right, guys who come up out of mid-major schools, they have great, like 25 plus a night numbers, or they've made big tournament runs. So I knew that wasn't going to be the route right there. So I was like, all right, what can I do? So again, at the time, Baz was playing with the Heat. So he hits me up like a week before I graduate. And he's like, what you got going on? What you about to do? I'm like, no, I'll just go home, work out, try to get me an agent, and then, find a team. And he's like, hey, man, I'm not coming out to Miami, work out with me. All right. So I spent the whole summer down there working out, with Baz. And opened my eyes up a lot. I got opportunity to do some individual skill work with Coach Spo. Excuse me, Coach Fisdale, David Fisdale, and Coach Jawan Howard. And just getting to see what it's like at that level, and where we need to be. I liked where I was, as far as like where that meter was. I'm okay. It was very encouraging to be there. And just networking. That's what I was really learning how to network down there because I'm around certain agents, coaches, maybe some team managers, whatever it may be, and getting to learn, take that in. So he really helped me out with that, and then I ended up going out to Germany that July, August, I believe, and yeah, that's how I kind of got started.
Now, Denzel, you started off in Germany. Let the viewers know how many other stops you made to get to where you're at now.
Man, shoot. Yeah, man, I played in Germany for 3 seasons. I played 3 seasons in Germany. The first year I was in like Opa, which is right outside Cologne, like a small town. And then the next 2 years I played in actually I played in Frankfurt real quick. I played for a club in Frankfurt, and then like halfway through the year I switched teams, went to a team in the higher league in Osnabrück, which I played for that remainder of the year and the following season. And then after that, played in Ireland for a short time. We had in the Super League, we had COVID had hit, so I was there for 6-7 games, and then once everything started opening back up, I went out to Spain, 2020.
Wow.
And then I was in Spain actually when I landed the Australia gig. I was looking for someone to play soccer, and Australia was it. So once I came back home, now we're going to 2021. Where did I play at? Oh, so again, like a lot of leagues weren't starting up because of COVID still. So I played in the TBL, which is a league in the States. It's a very good league actually. Really good professional team. Played in that for a little bit, and then went to play in Cape Verde in the Pride League.
Okay.
For that summer, and then so mind you, the whole time I'm waiting to be able to travel to Australia because they still had the border shut down. And then with that being said, then I went to Portugal in the fall of 2021.
Wow.
To Portugal, and then the following year I was able to get in the country and come to Australia, and I played here the last 2 seasons.
And how's it been? First of all, before I ask you that, what was the transition like playing collegiate and then going overseas? How was the transition?
It's when you get to a certain point, it's all basketball. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit certain things are a little different, like the rules and the FIBA rules, like as far as like you're playing 24-second shot clock. Offensive board turns into the 14-second shot clock. You can't go into the back court to inbound the ball if the ball is in the front court. So
Okay.
little things like that, obviously, you have to adjust. But I guess more so like I don't know. It just college. It's so demanding in college, and it can be very demanding also too overseas, especially in Europe. But I feel like you went through so much in college. It was so hard in a good way that everything else was all right. Like this is nothing. So I guess
Was the language a
mostly
problem?
it's a problem if you're not open to understanding people. Like a lot of guys may go and struggle because they're not open minded to enough to get to know their teammates and learn the language a little bit, just a little bit, so where you can understand what's going on the court. I guess the hardest place I played as far as language barrier was Spain because they just assume I speak Spanish.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? They assumed I knew it, and I had coaches just speaking to me fluently, and literally telling guys, "Oh no, Denzel knows what I'm talking about." I'm like, "All right, man, whatever." But yeah, I guess if you're not open to getting to adjust to a different culture, it's going to be a rough struggle to adjust.
And now I got to bring your dad in. I'm refereeing with him at the Virgo Basketball League. He said, "I'm about to go to Australia." I said, "You going where?" He said, "I'm about to go to Australia." I said, "For what?" He said, "Go see my son play." And I'm like, "What?" That shows you the type of dad you have. Now, before I get to you, Denzel, Dad, how do you feel about doing what you do to go not to New York, not Denver? You're going to Australia to go watch your son play.
Listen,
Tell me what that feels like, for real.
bro. Honestly, just being around him, man. It's every vacation pretty much I've ever had to do around like going to watch him play. So to me, it wasn't even a thing, man. I just love being around. He's a great young man. Him and I get a really tight bond relationship, and no matter where he plays, where he's at, I'm gonna try to get there.
That's a true testament to you. So now, Denzel, what do you see as your future? You've been overseas for about 7, 8 years or whatever. What do you see as your future? What do you want to change?
I still have a lot of good years left to play, but obviously, I'd be a fool if I wasn't thinking about what's next or trying to, set that up. So when I'm done playing, I want to be a coach. I want to be around the game. I would love to coach at the collegiate level or professional. So in the meantime, I try to do things that's going to help helped me gain some more experience with that. And what I did was the last 2 years, I've been assistant coach at Tabor Academy on the boys side. A few summers ago, I was helping actually Tiffany and Matt Rodriguez coach their daughter's AAU team, the Bay State Jaguars. And I don't know if you know anything about them. They
Of
got
course
some
I do.
heavy hitters. They they could go.
Yes.
So when I'm home, I spend a lot of time coaching, a lot of time doing some private skill training. Even here in Australia, I coach a younger, like a youth team, and so it's always helping me learn different aspects of the game as far as coaching. Just gain a little bit more experience as much as I can. So when that time comes, I'm ready to start coaching. I'll step into it and hopefully walk into it with stride.
And it's a true testament to you because uh, and I found in a lot of cases that, you know, great athletes more or less do not want to, I guess, pay it forward. And to see someone
Hmm.
like yourself, and there's so many others like, Brian, there's so many others who have paid it
Hmm.
forward. It's a great thing because the kids look up to you, man. Your dad and I are 88 years old, so they don't really can relate to us as much as they can relate to someone like you. No, I'm keeping it real. So I mean, it's good that
Yeah.
they get to see someone on their kind of on their level. Do you know what I mean? And I think that helps them maybe feel more, I guess, empowered. Makes them feel
Hmm.
that maybe they have instill some confidence in them. And again, I appreciate you. I've been watching you on Facebook and all this stuff you do for the community, and it's a tribute to you and your dad and your family. I think it's a great thing. I've been doing it
Hmm.
for 800 years, so I know the feeling that it gives me. So I'm sure it gives you
Yeah.
the same type of feeling. And I guess a tribute to your dad as well. Now,
Hmm.
Dad, I got to ask you one more question. Dad,
Yes,
now, you know how we are. What do you think the community of Wareham needs?
well,
Tough question. I know. I hit you
uh,
kind of hard. And Denzel, you can answer that as well.
but I'll be honest with you. Um, and actually, I'm glad that Zell brought up Juwan Gamble. Like, it's great for me to see, again, working at the Y in the fire department and doing what I do here for the community. It's great seeing the young men like Denzel, Aaron Struthers, uh,
Yes.
Juwan Gamble, Mike Mendes, uh, Darian Fernandez, them young
Yes.
brothers like that, like you said, paying it forward, trying to do something better. It's up to the like you mentioned it earlier, the dads being dads, man. Step up to the plate, be there for your kids, man. Be there, coach, volunteer coach, get in the backyard with your kid, play catch. Go to the park. So to me, that's what I want to see. Just these young brothers keep doing what they're doing. Recruiting more of the young brothers to do that, and young sisters too. So it's just not a male or female thing. It's everybody, the whole community. That the whole takes a village. So I want to see that keep growing. Programs like the CYE, the Gleason Family YMCA, the those all those programs continue to grow, continue to give back to the kids. So we have that strong community because that's what this community is all about. It's a tight knit community.
And you know something, Lou? My producer has given me the platform so I can do what I enjoy doing. And I enjoy bringing our community into the fold and let people know how our community is. And I also want our community to see things that they can do to improve themselves.
Right.
And that's why I'm glad to have you both on my show. And I'm honored to have both of you on my show. Denzel, I've been following your career since your dad started staring at me at the JBA. Um, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
we got only about a couple minutes left. What I want to do now is I'm going to shut my mouth. I want to let Dad speak first and talk about anything you need to talk about, and then I'm gonna end it with Denzel. Anything you want to talk about.
I'm like I said, I'm just proud of him. I'm proud of the boy that he was, the young man, like the athlete, everything. I mean, the athlete that he is, I don't have to say anything about it. but when people come up to me and say, you know what, that son of yours, he's such a good kid. Oh, he's such a good
He
young man.
is.
I love
Oh,
him.
oh.
You know what I mean? And his little brother idolizes him like you wouldn't believe, man. You know, football just started, and he's been watching the LA football highlights. So he's going to practice with his gloves hooked up to the mask.
Yeah.
He begged Coach Walt Crumbly to order him number 19 so he can wear it. So yeah, he's been a role model to him, to his young brother, and to a lot of the kids around here. I mean, people always asking me, "Hey, when's your son coming home?" Because my son wants to work with him, my daughter wants to work with him again. So I'm just proud that he has that, that to give to the share his love for the game, because that's the only thing I ever try to do for him is love of the game, man. That's that bond between us. We love the game, we love the competition, and I just love that to see that. People don't see everything that he does to get to that level. Getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, doing his weights, putting up shots for 3 or 4 hours, doing the stretches and all that. Those are the little things that aren't fun, that if you don't love the game, you're not gonna do. And I know he loves the game because he's still putting that work in, getting that grind, and I just love him. He knows that. I tell them that every day. I'm gonna keep telling him that.
I hear you. All right, Denzel, your turn, my brother.
No, man. Again, I'm just as you can see, I'm very fortunate, very blessed to have the dad I have, the mom I have, who always supported me and loved me in their own ways, and it's just allowed me growing up to just be a kid. You know what I'm saying? They weren't one of those crazy parents who's always trying to be in the mix and whatnot, or if I didn't play, they blame the coach. They just told me, hey, get better. So that really installed something in me to not point the fingers at others, take responsibility for your own actions, that type of thing. Um, but as far as just kind of growing up, my dad always told me, be your own man, make your own decisions. And basically, if you want to make a mistake, allow it to be your decision that you made, not because of somebody else.
For
And
that.
that's what I try to live by to this day. And also, my younger brother, who's growing up kind of in a very similar environment to what I did. He's going to see a lot of the same things. So, I try to tell him those same things that I learned, and he's starting to get it. He's starting to understand about like the work you got to put in and whatnot. And I hope that he continues to take that in stride and run with it. And then, last but not least, again, like, to our community out there, it's all love, and what we want to do, and like especially for the guys who are my peers, we're all kind of collectively doing our part. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to Village Hoops, which is Aaron Shutter's nonprofit.
Yes.
He puts on a lot of great things for the community, like basketball giveaways and whatnot, and free clinics. Then also Jordan does his thing with the kids, and he's training the kids, and everybody's lending a pitching hand. You know what I'm saying? So again, like Aaron says, it takes a village. You know, and that's what a lot of the guys at Groper are doing. And I'm very proud and honored to be from Onset, because again, like y'all probably say in the Bedford, ain't no place like it. You know what I mean? So it's truly a special place to be from.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Now, believe it or not, this show is seen all over. Believe it or not, even though I'm off the hook. But anyway, what I want to know is, Dad, people I'm sure are going to be impressed with you today. How can they get in touch with you if they want to know more about you or what you do? Can you let the viewers know how they can get in touch with you, and as far as your platform, or how can they be able to reach out to you?
Well, you can reach me at the Gleason Family YMCA in Wareham. Just call there, and if you got any questions, be more than happy to ask and answer your questions. I'm also a fireman here in Wareham. Don't contact me there because I probably won't be there, but that's probably the best way. Reach me at the Gleason Family YMCA in Wareham. Again, we mentioned the JBA. We actually took over not the JBA. We actually do the league, the youth basketball league here in Wareham. We just had a successful summer season, so it's great to see A lot of the kids that played with Denzel when he was younger are now coaching their kids. So it's a beautiful thing to see.
And also, Dad, you know, you have set the example because anybody can be a father. It takes someone to be a dad. And I think a lot of people may contact you maybe to help them become a dad. Maybe they don't know how to be a dad. Maybe they never had a dad. So I think they're going to be contacting you, my friend, to let them know how to be a dad.
Well, I had the best dad, so I learned from the best, man. You know, my dad was the best, so that's where I learned it from. I didn't invent it.
Like,
I hear you. Now, Denzel, how can if people want to check you out or your games, or how can they get in touch with you? Because I guarantee you, this might be one of the most popular shows we've done. So I want to know how people can get in touch with you.
I mean, well, I'll be home shortly, so I'm always around in the gym, usually at the YMCA. So if people see me, I always tell kids, if you want to work out, you see me, just like, yo, what's up? Can we work? I'm all right, let's do it. But I mostly do social media on Instagram. My Instagram handle, I mean, if you just search my name, Denzel Brito, it'll pop up. So you're mostly through there. I have Facebook, but I don't really use it that much. But yeah, mostly probably through Instagram. You can contact me. Again, like I'll be home soon, and I'm actually looking to. Oh, this is a perfect place to say it. I'm looking to run a preseason basketball clinic for high school student athletes.
Good.
Yeah, from mid-September to the end of October, leading into high school trials. So I'm looking for a gym. So any coaches watching this, please contact me.
This is why we have the platform, my brother.
Yeah,
I guarantee you'll be able to get a gym. This is why I do what I do, my brother.
Yes, I want to provide something for these kids that they may have not seen before, and hopefully get to collaborate with some great basketball minds in our area, such as Wilson Perlate, Brian Rudolph, Aaron Shutters of the world, and so on, to collaborate, and we can put some specials together for these kids in preparing for their season, more so amongst the lines of how we did in college. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Along those kind of guidelines. So
that
kids who are aspiring to play college ball, give you a little taste of what it's like.
Now I'm gonna ask you a question. Now I may get you in trouble. I might get me in trouble, but I don't care. It's my show. I have here in New Bedford, we have so much talent, but they don't want to work together. I see in Wareham, it seems like you guys want to work together. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say. We got so much talent, but they want to go individually as opposed to forming a group. And I sense that you guys in Wareham seem to be able to do that more than here in New Bedford. I'm gonna get heat. I don't care. But I see a sense of community with you guys, whereas egos get in the way and things happen. And can you imagine all you guys and Rudolph, the New Bedford Connection, get together? What can happen? That's what I think. What could happen? How many kids will be serviced? How many kids can benefit from? That's me, but I'm off the hook.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I think everybody who's involved with the kids as far as basketball, I think everybody does an amazing job. Like, you obviously got Brian and then Matt Hills out there, who's the coach of New Bedford High.
Yes,
they all put on great things for the kids, and you love to see it. As far as like with people working together, I'm not entirely sure. Again, I've worked Brian's camps before with like Avery Oliver, Wilson, Aaron Shutters come through and work. So I feel like maybe it's more so along the lines of just reaching out to others. I'm not entirely sure, but I just know in onset it's like, again, we literally all grew up in the same street pretty much. So it's like we understand where we come from and what it is, and obviously it's a much smaller scale than the record, but it's still it has its things to work through. But I feel like we all experience a lot of similar things. So we're like, how can we make it better for kids coming up?
Exactly.
And we want to be the resource for these kids. So again, a lot of us have different gifts and different skills to give back.
Right.
but it falls kind of under the same umbrella, and I feel like we just kind of do it effortlessly. Like we just flow together. It doesn't matter who gets credit, who doesn't get credit. We just want to see the end result. We want to see these kids go through this process of growing and becoming better, and that's what we get out of it for sure.
Well, I'm so proud of both you guys. You know what I mean, and what you all doing. Unfortunately, we got to go. I could talk to you for 8 hours. Me, and my big mouth, as you all know.
Yeah,
But I
gotta get
mean,
my day
we
going.
got to go. But I want to thank you guys for coming on my show, Sports Corner with the Cornman on the Sports Empire Network. Again, I want to give tribute to my man Denzel Brito, and of course his dad for coming on. I appreciate that. And next week we got a football show. Oh, it's going to be off the hook. We got big time. We got Dallas. Oh, it's going to be off the hook. So tune in next Friday at 5 o'clock on Sports Corner with the Cornman on the Sports Empire Network. Again, gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming on my show. You made my day. God bless you guys. I love you. Take care and God bless.
Appreciate you, brother.
Sure.
Love you, boy.